Okay, hello, what's good, unapologetic gang? It's your girl Malicious, actually Marinike. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Marinike. I am the author of this book and another one called Something to Show for It, My Journey Through Mexico and Guatemala with $200 and a one-way ticket. This is the vision book. It's a guide to taking action on your deepest desires. Every single page is filled with exercises to help you dig deeper. So today I want to talk to you about catty women, like the catty vibes. And why am I even calling it that? Actually, I'm really glad you asked that question because I was attacked by a jaguar on my right breast. And the thing was, the cat was comfortable as long as there were other men around, but it was a female cat, so it didn't like other females. And I noticed this is a situation that is just kind of like perpetuating a lot in media, and especially if people are watching like things like Bravo TV or even like MTV, or people who are like still stuck in high school, like the whole Mean Girl stuff, where it's like cute to be rude. But I want to cover a few things first of all. So if you find yourself in a situation with catty people and you realize, okay, maybe it's not me holding me back. Sometimes we have exercises in this book. We talk about, maybe that there's time to say goodbye to certain people in your life. So irrespective of who the people are, if they're not nice people, if they're just causing you all kinds of issues and they're just catty, I want to remind you a few things. The first of which is you can't talk logic to an animal. So I was attacked on my breast. I mean, this is just kind of an outrageous story, but hey, anytime weird stuff starts happening and my breast hurt, I know it's jealousy or envy. But the thing is, we can't really address envy when it comes to animals, right? So animals, even cats, they're not like, leave me alone, meow, I think you're beautiful and amazing, and why are you even mad at me? Like, you're a nice kitty, go find something else. It doesn't really work like that. Usually people have to I mean, really, it's just like, wow. So usually the animals just start attacking each other, and that's what kind of drives a lot of like mob wives, real housewives of all the counties of Atlanta and whatever. And back in the day, it was really nice to watch it, but then it just kind of is like, well, why are people interested in this? Why are people interested in being mean, in frenemies and stuff like that? Like, why is that even a thing? Let's outlaw it. Can we do that? I don't know. Probably not. So these are some tools and strategies to help you understand how to deal with cattiness. Okay, so the first thing I would remind you is people being catty is just animalistic instinct. So you can't really talk logic to animals. That's the first thing. When this jaguar bit me, she just didn't like that I was feminine. Okay, like I can't be like, listen, these are males, and generally speaking, they're gonna like other women, but I'm not interested in them. So please, maybe you can spare my life. It doesn't really work like that. An animal is not gonna say, oh, well, you know what, you're really right. That was a really valid point. I don't know why I was feeling like that. Let me go and just keep playing with the men and over here. It doesn't work like that. So let's talk about that. Logic, when people are acting on that animal instinct, women, when they need to be catty for something, it stems from either jealousy or fear of, let's just be honest, it's jealousy. When a feminine is jealous, it's intense. Let me even pull this up. I think it was actually in Proverbs. Okay, so here it says, Proverbs 25:24. Better to live on the corner of the roof or a housetop, better to dwell on the housetop than with a contentious woman in a wide house. So really, I mean, it's better to live out of that, but when a woman is like, Now, I'm not talking about the 3 weeks out of the month where we're generally speaking not ourselves. We only have 1 week of the month where we're actually normal. Other than that, it's PMS week, it's menstruation week, and then it's ovulation week, ovulation, PMS. Yeah. So there's only like 1 week we're actually normal. Which, thank you guys for understanding that and being as kind to every woman as you possibly can. Thanks, women, for being as kind to each other as we possibly can. And for those of you who are catty, no, my breast hurt, then it doesn't make sense to be feuding. And let's talk about the cattiness. Why are we even doing that? Like, it's not even cute. Like looking at somebody's fat and being like, ew, and watching their little little folds or their like muffin top when they're walking, or thinking, oh, thank God I don't look like that, or oh, she's missing this or that. I'm not perfect. I got my own little beauty marks, you know what I'm saying? I got things, nobody can hold that over my head, but picking on another woman or a child or going to somebody's graduation. This was one example. I was at a friend's graduation. We're kind of like sometimes at odds, but I was genuinely happy for her. She just finished her master's and I wasn't thinking what deficit she had. One girl showed up and she was like, at the girls' graduation, we're all eating dinner. So what, you said she had Asperger's or something like that? Listen, I turned to her and I was like, I cursed her out. I was like, you are such a, insert explicit here, like, don't do that. Here we're celebrating somebody's accomplishments, and instead of sitting here and feasting at the table and just being happy for the person because they accomplished something that took them 2, 3, 4 years to get that master's degree, and instead of that you want to talk about her learning disability, like that's not making you any smarter. It's not helping you get a master's, and it's not making you look any more like attractive to anyone. I mean, it's just rude and it's disrespectful. Looking at somebody's fat or saying, oh, that girl is so skinny, ew, look, she must be anorexic. That's not making you any skinnier. It's not putting any thick meat on your bones, and it's not like wiping your butt or paying your bills. So I want to remind you guys, when you're being catty or when somebody is being catty like that, sometimes you just have to turn the mirror back and just call it what it is, or just say jealous. I mean, jealousy it's a spiritual disease, and hers, there's a car going by. Hers was actually envy. So, I was like, this was way before I had a jaguar bite on my breastises. But I was just kind of like, that was rude. There was no reason for anybody to go ahead and start acting like that and just disrespecting somebody on their day of celebration. I'm like, woo, she really got me some kind of... So I want to share that sometimes I don't fault the women for being that way, but I want to please remind you guys, listen, there's other things to focus on. There was one girl, I met her and I just didn't like her, and I could feel it. There's just going to be like souls and spirits just don't connect with each other very well. I didn't see a reason to be mean to her or particularly catty or anything like that, because I had my own logic. Like, it's all right, she's a human being. I just don't seem to click with her, and we haven't even like connected. But of all people in this entire co-working space, I just don't feel a positive aura. I mean, I don't want to say aura because that's new agey, but there's something that you're emitting, like a perfume, and it's funky. It doesn't smell like, it smells like skunk spray, and I'm like, something's off there. So we had an interaction and we just kind of like met, and it was just kind of like, I want to tell you it's okay as long as you're not acting on that. Envy is a disease. Get rid of it. Don't be catty. Love one another. There's other things to focus on. We're focusing on a new generation, new things that are up and coming. Don't be catty. Don't be catty, and run far away from catty people. They're not good for business. They're not good for relationships. They're not good for friends. They're just not good, okay? So back off of the cattiness, okay? Yeah.